I'm Megan. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe, and thanks Patreons for sponsoring me and keeping these videos coming. And today's practice is about your oblique muscles, which is a very important part of your abdominal wall. I have a number of different videos on the transversus abdominis, and I'll put a link up there. But once we've worked with the transversus or in relation to at the same time, we also want to know about our internal and external obliques. So this is going to be a playful class, and I titled it Bend, Squeeze, Twist and Roll for Oblique Control. And the title tells you what these muscles do for you, or at least part of it. So if we were to take a side bend and go ahead and bend to your right, it's your oblique muscles on the left side that are lengthening or stretching, and your oblique muscles on your right side that are compressing, or as I'm saying, squeezing. The obliques also help us to rotate the spine. So they're very important spinal stability muscles. But in rotation, go ahead and take a rotation to your left. And what happens in the rotation is your external obliques, so the ones closest to the surface of your skin, are activating on the right side. So opposite rotation on the right side. And the left side, your internal obliques, the one closest to your deeper core muscles, they're on the left side. Those are pulling you over. So they work in pairs, but doing the opposite. So turning to the left would be external on the right side, internal on the left. Go ahead and turn to the right. That would be internal obliques on the right side, external obliques on the left side. And then the other thing is when they're working together, so both sides equally, they bring us into a position of what we say flexion, or draw the sternum, the chest towards the belly, towards the pelvis. So that's both sides. The other thing I want to mention before we speak specifically about the two sides is that they're really important in respiration and breathing. The internal and externals are like flat sheets that wrap around your entire abdomen. And then there's one more deep layer that we call the transverse abdominis, as I mentioned. But these flat sheets are think of them like tubes that allow your diaphragm to pull. So they're very active. In fact, we can recruit these oblique muscles on an exhalation, and that's what we're going to do today. So in just sitting for a moment, place your hands on your rib cage, because your obliques, some of them attach, your externals attach to your ribs 5 through 12, the internals ribs 10 through 12. Feel that space, take a breath out, and sort of crunch yourself. Think of doing a crunch, you can do it seated, and feel that area. So that's going to get us familiar with it. So they're important in this idea of respiration, expiration, breathing out, but also in what we call the interabdominal pressure. So let's get started. You just need your mat, and we're going to come down onto the ground. Go ahead and bend your knees for a moment and let your body fall down. So we want to allow, this is a somatic practice, so we always land first. Land and feel whatever's touching the floor. I'm going to recommend for now, knees bent, feet on the floor. Feel your back and spine relax. So because we really want to recruit these muscles on the front side, right? And then this is a simple movement to get us familiar with it. But place your hands on your belly, and as we did before, as you exhale, think of lifting your tailbone and drawing your navel center towards your ribs. So you're going to shorten the space in your belly, and place your hands on your ribs as you do that. So what we're doing is creating a little bit more of a forced exhalation, or recruiting these muscles on the exhalation. So inhale, you might even, when we do what's called the arch, you can let your tailbone press down and arch the low back. Exhale, curl, and see if you can feel some tightening around your rib cage and the space. Think of this corset area from these muscles attached to the front of your hips. So you can feel in that area too, what we call the iliac crest. But just through your breath, inhale, let that area stretch. So that's equally important. Those muscles need to be able to stretch for us to allow the diaphragm to work and compress on the inhale. As you exhale, the diaphragm relaxes and these muscles will contract. So just doing that a few times. And then we're going to add a leg movement. So I'm going to ask you to lift your feet up off the floor and just let your legs come to like a 90-degree angle, so your knees are over your hips and your heels are straight off your knees. I want to take your arms out to your sides, stabilize the spine. And all we're going to do now is do that same exhale, but as you're exhaling and drawing in through the navel center, just slightly imagine trying to lift your knees up off the ground. What you want to watch for is that we're not curling anymore. I'm not lifting the whole buttocks or the pelvis off the floor. I'm thinking of pushing my knees up. So you can keep your arms out, or on that exhale, feel. There's something happening there. Those are your oblique muscles. And just sensing that. And it's much easier to access these on the exhalation. You can even inhale. If you don't have a lab at your feet, let your feet come down, arch your back, exhale, lift up, knees up, and see if you can feel that. Yeah, take a few more. Just familiarize yourself before we begin our play. Inhale, you can arch, feel them stretch, equally important, right? We want muscles to move in both directions. Exhale. Feel them contract, pressing the knees up towards the sky. And then if we want to feel one side a little more than the other, so let's go with the left. Cross your left knee over your right, and we'll do that same action. As you exhale, imagine pressing your left knee and your front of your hip to that iliac crest up towards the sky just a little bit more than the right side. And then release on inhale. And maybe you'll sense that you're getting more action now on that left side. So you can exhale, push that left knee up, and think of slightly lifting the front of your left hip. Can you feel that contraction? Inhale, release it. Breathe into your left lung. Let them stretch. And exhale, push up. So this is just that introduction. Can you feel them? And remember, we were using those pictures because I believe in the imagery of anatomy. So helping you to picture what those muscles look like. Your external obliques are like putting your hands in your pockets. So they run at a diagonal. And your internal obliques, if you just place your hands across your body, that's the direction that they're running. And then we're going to switch. Let's try the right side. So sometimes one side is ready to go, the other side's on vacation. So cross your right leg on top of your left, just let it hang. Take a moment and you can inhale and arch your back, press your tailbone down. So you're creating space when you're arching your back, you're creating space between the low back and the floor. And then as you exhale, press the low back, low ribs down, push the right knee up towards the sky and the right hip just a little bit. And see if you can feel that now on your right side. So this is just the wake up. Inhale, you can arch. Notice that right side of your body arching. The right lung is filling and those oblique muscles are stretching. And then you're exhaling, you're calling on them to contract as you push your right knee up and right hip. Inhale, arch. Exhale, push knees up. Maybe take one more, and you might feel both sides because that left side could be activating too, but it's a little longer where the right side is more compressed or contracted. All right, so we're going to go into our full movement now. I may need to adjust myself for one very large lab who's in training here. So the first movement we're going to do is a side stretching. We'll start with the left side. Just let your knees go long, and as you breathe in, you're going to reach through your left arm and left leg, but not only reaching to the right side with arm and leg. So you're taking a side bend. That's on the inhale, and then exhale, just release to start. So inhale, side bend that left side. So what we're doing now is we're taking those internal and external obliques, I'm just going to say obliques, into a nice stretching motion in the left side. It can be really helpful to think of breathing in your left lung. Inhale into your left lung. Stretch them out. Exhale. Just release. Take one or two more. You might even hold that space. Breathe in. And so if somebody has issues breathing to this area in the center of the body, oftentimes it can be because the obliques they're stuck. They're not responding to your diaphragm. So we want that freedom to breathe into them. And then relax. And then we're going to go the other way with the left side. So now we're going to think of compressing the left side. So this is that was the bend and this is the squeeze. So now on an exhalation, think of your side body and you're going to squeeze your left elbow towards your left knee. But here's the trick here is that I can really use my knee or my elbow, or I can think of using those oblique muscles, the waist. Think of using the waist. Then I'll just inhale and release wherever you want. Exhale, squeeze. So I like to think of these muscles almost like an accordion. And as I'm exhaling, I'm squeezing the air out of the left lung, squeezing the muscles. Inhale, just come out of it. Exhale, squeeze. Now you might notice not only that the left side is shortening, but the right side has to respond and play along by lengthening. Now let's put those two movements together. So you can inhale, reach through left arm, left leg, take a little side bend, stretch out the left side. Think of those obliques, internal and external. Exhale, squeeze them. Like a balloon. Fill them on the inhale, breathe into your left lung. Squeeze on the exhale. And I'm just letting my head roll. Once you get pretty good at this, you can almost not move the arm and leg and really think of making this a torso movement. Right? It's nice to use the arm and leg to find that action first, but sometimes you can just do it with your torso. Inhale, stretch the left side out. Exhale, imagine drawing your left hip towards your left armpit without the leg. Experiment with a few more with or without the arm and leg, helping you to squeeze and stretch. Or as I said, this is the side bend and the squeeze. And the next part we add on is actually the rolling part. So next time you squeeze, go ahead and stay there. And you're going to grab a hold of your leg. We'll show the movement, and then we'll see if we want to do it to our breath. Grab a hold of your leg, and this is the roll. So the roll is going to activate these oblique muscles in different ways depending on how we do it. So if I hold you want to hold your leg, and if I rock up, I'm going to do that on an exhalation. If I rock up straight up, then I'm calling on both sides equally. It's a bilateral movement. So obliques on both sides are contracting. And then I'm going to slowly go back down. Same thing, both sides supporting me. And notice I'm holding my leg for a little more support and then coming down. Let's do it straight up again. So take an exhalation. Use your leg. Pull yourself up. Take an inhale when you get up there. Smile. Exhale. Come down slowly. See if you can feel that tightness in both sides. So if we want to add a little bit of rotation when we're doing this full movement, what you can do is instead of holding your shin, by the way, you can also hold the back of your thigh. Anywhere on your leg is game. You might kind of grab the side of your shin or your whatever you can get a hold of, come up straight or maybe with a little bit of an angle, and then rotate to the left to come down really slow. It's like this gravity pulling you, but you're not going to let it win and come all the way down. Let's try the side one again. So the idea is I could come straight up, feeling both sides, and then roll to the left onto my left cheek, my left butt cheek, slowly coming down. Take a couple breaths if you want. Feel that support from your front area. Low back is long, back muscle, back side of the muscles are relaxed and come down. Let's put this all together on the left side. So it started with extending the left leg, doing it to our breath. You're going to inhale and reach through the left side, both arm and leg. Open up the left side. Breathe out. Squeeze the left side. Hip towards the armpit. Then breathe in. Grab a hold of the leg. Breathe out. Rock up. So you want to do the breath out to engage those. Remember, they help you to squeeze the air out on the exhalation. Then take another breath in, and you can exhale coming straight back if you just want to work on both at the same time, or do your roll. I did both that time. Let's continue. We're going to do about 3 more of these on the left side. Inhale, reach, stretch the left side out. Thank you, obliques. Exhale, squeeze them. Inhale, grab a hold of your shin, your calf, whatever you want. Exhale, come on up. Take an inhale up there, and this time maybe you want to roll. And I like to take a few breaths. Inhale, hold, exhale down. Sooner or later, gravity might get the best of you. That's okay. And come down. Let's do another one. I'm going to show you another way to challenge yourself. Inhale, arch. Or take that side bend. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, grab a hold of the leg. Exhale, draw in through the navel center, both sides by the ribs. Come on up. And then in the coming down, if you want a little more challenge, you can cross your left ankle on your right leg instead of using your hands. Come down slowly. So sometimes first time back, doing it here. Can you feel that contraction? Coming down slow, complete release. Let's do that again. We can also do it with a little twist. Inhale and arch, or take the side bend. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, grab a hold of the leg. Exhale, roll up to a seated position. And you may just be working from there, and that's all good. If you want to try that extra challenge, cross, and you can keep your right foot off the ground, even and slowly. Exhale, exhale. Feel that stability coming from your ribs. Just play with it. Take your time. As slow as you can go, all the way. And then there's that voluntary surrender. Let it go. All right, one more for good measure on the left side. Inhale, side bend. Open up the left side. Exhale. Squeeze the left side. And sometimes it's good to hang out there. Take a few breaths there. Inhale, grab a hold of the leg. Exhale. Come up. Think of shortening the space from your pubic bone to your heart. And then coming up, you can hold that foot or you can cross it. And exhale, go straight back, or maybe take just a little bit more weight into your left butt cheek. Take that, or you can even turn and rotate. Notice that. So this would be internal obliques on the left, external obliques on the right, helping to take you down at a nice, easy pace. Let it go. What I like to do after that is keep that left leg crossed on top of the right. Just make some circles with the hips, the pelvis. Maybe stretch those muscles out. And then uncross, feet to the floor. We're going to take about 8 to 10 rounds of breath, just being still. You can place your hands there if you'd like. And what did you notice in working with your left side? Were you able to feel those same muscles that when we were pressing our knees up towards the sky? Can you picture, use the imagery of anatomy, picture your oblique muscles attaching to your ribs, to the front of your pelvis. In fact, some of them go all the way down to the pubic bone, those internal obliques. So really important core stabilizers here. And then we get to do all of this and play with our right side. And remember that sometimes one side is grumpy and the other's not. So it starts with extending the legs. We'll do the side bend first. Feel yourself from your right toes to your right hand. Breathe in and reach right hand or right arm and right leg long, and also reaching slightly to the left. So you're not just going long, you're side bending. And then just release that on the exhale. So inhale, think of breathing into your right lung. Breathe into your right ribs. Make space for that side bend. Exhale. Let go. Breathe in and stretch out. This is fun with a lab between my feet. Thank you, Milo. Breathe out, relax. Breathe in and stretch. And breathe out. Relax. Take one more. And notice if there's any restriction in breathing to the right lung, because a lot of times, like I said, that's that those oblique muscles are not responsive, and it's going to make it difficult for the diaphragm to do its job. So we don't only want them to be strong, we want them to be able to stretch. And then release. And then we'll do the second movement. So the second movement is the squeeze, and I might turn towards you, do my flip. So the second movement of the squeeze is On an exhalation, if you want to do it to your breath, think of sliding your right knee towards your right elbow. So it starts more or less as an arm movement. And then inhale, just release as far as you want. Exhale, squeeze. So take it first with your arm and your leg, because usually that's easier to feel. But then think of the muscles through the right side, or the space from the hip to the armpit, and exhale, use your torso to make that same side bend. So the arm and the leg are just going along for the ride. Have that sensitivity. You're squeezing the breath out of the right side, the right lung. Do one more, just focusing on the contraction, the compression in the right side and those oblique muscles. And check too, what sometimes happens when we get in bad body patterns is like we're lifting our head, we're tightening our muscles in our neck. You want to keep your head supported by the ground. And let's put those two movements together. So I'm going to have a little bit of a lab in my way here, snoring, but I'm going to give it my best. So as we breathe in, you're going to reach through the right hand and arm and right leg and reach across to the left. Open up so long from the right fingers to the toes. As you breathe out, compress, make that space as short as you can. Again, you might sense that it feels as if you're moving from the arm and the leg, but make it more of a torso movement. Picture those muscles and let the arm and the leg come along for the ride. Even if you don't go as far, think of spreading the right hip and armpit away from each other as you breathe in and squeezing them toward each other as you breathe out. So I even like to picture where those muscles are attaching to the ribs. So that you can think of your 10th through 12th for the external obliques, 10 through 12 for internal, 5 through 12 for external. It's hard to do this and speak at the same time. But also on your pelvis, on your iliac crest. And that's what's helping you to make this movement. It's not the arm and the leg. Squeezing. Take one more round. And stretching. As I said, stretching and bending. Squeezing, bend and squeeze. And now we'll add in that last part, and we'll do the last part. So the last part is the rolling up. So take an inhalation, and as you inhale, you can bring the leg in towards your body. That's a nice way to do it. And by the way, if you're having pulling on your low back at all, go ahead and place the left foot on the floor, bend your knee. So inhale, grab a hold of the leg, right leg, anywhere you can. It can be the back of the thigh. As you exhale, think of shortening the space from your collarbones to the front of your hips and rock up. So just that first, right? That's that big movement. Take an inhale when you get up there, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, round a little bit and slowly come down. So not letting gravity have its way with you as it might want to. You can relax the leg if you want. Let's do just that a few times. I like to inhale and arch the back. Let these muscles spread as I breathe in. Also grab the leg. Exhale. Think of shortening the space in the front body and rocking up. So these are all the muscles along with the transversus abdominis that are important in our front wall of our abdomen. And we also talk about the rectus abdominis. That's more what we say superficial. It's not as powerful as these muscles in supporting us, but still important. So exhale, squeeze, and come up. Now let's add that little bit of a twist. So you can still inhale, grab the leg, exhale, come up, take your inhale there, and then dump yourself a little bit to the right and slowly come down on exhale. I might take a couple breaths doing that. Exhale, exhale, exhale. And coming back, relaxing. Might even put the foot down to relax. Let's try that again. Inhale, grab a hold of the leg. You can change the way you hold the leg too, right? That changes a little bit. Exhale, come up. Can you feel both sides working? Take an inhale, rock onto your right butt cheek. Exhale. So you can even turn your shoulders, right? Take a little rotation to the right. So we're activating those internal obliques on the right side, external on the left, and coming down. Let's do one more, however you want, straight up or taking that twist, just to get this movement. Both sides active as you exhale and come up. Take an inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, playfully roll. Have fun with this one, right? I mean, come on, I'm landing with my head on a lab, so how much fun can you have? And let it go. All right, let's put it all together for the right side. So we take first the inhale, and that's that side bend. Stretch out your whole right side. And then there's our exhale or expiration, squeezing. Feel that right side compress, and your left side is lengthening. Then you inhale, grab a hold of the leg wherever you'd like to. Exhale, roll. Take an inhale at the top of your roll, and you might come straight back. I'll do that this time. Inhale, stretch. So there's our side bend, right side. Exhale, squeeze the right side. Feel those oblique muscles. Grab a hold of your leg wherever you want. Take an inhale. Exhale, slowly. So the slower you can go, the more you're going to recruit those muscles. And then maybe you want to do a little tip. Take an inhale, be tall, roll onto your right butt cheek. Rotate to the right. Exhale. Feel it all the way down. In control. And if you're not, and there's a sound, that's okay too. Right, Milo? All right. So we're going to do a few more, and I'm going to give you that option of crossing your leg, lifting your feet up for more challenge. Inhale, take the side bend. Breathe into your right lung. Exhale. Squeeze. Inhale, get a hold of your leg. Exhale. Take yourself up to that seated position. Roll up. Now, if you'd like, you can cross your right leg on your left. Take an inhale, be tall. And exhale, lift the left foot off the floor. Slowly come down. Think of recruiting these muscles from the tops of your hips to your ribs. And you can come all the way down. Release it. Stretch it out again. Inhale, lateral bend. Open up the right side. Exhale. Squeeze. Inhale, grab a hold of your leg. And exhale. Sit up. So you can keep the left. So you notice when your left foot's on the floor, you can use that left leg to help stabilize yourself. You're probably pushing it down. Maybe you weren't even noticing. But if you want to lift it and cross your right ankle, then there's less ability to access your leg muscles. So you're really calling more on those oblique muscles coming down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And you feel that. And release it. Let's do two more. Have fun. Reach long as you breathe in. Open up your right side. Squeeze your right side as you breathe out. Breathe in, get a hold of your leg. Breathe out, rock. And you can also not hold your leg, right? That's another little trick you can work on, especially if you want to do this on your own. This is an easy movement to do on your own. Hold that leg or cross. Breathe in, come up tall through your spine. And now I'm going to challenge myself to roll onto the right butt cheek, turn to the right a little bit, legs crossed, feet off the ground, slowly coming down, feeling that recruitment of those obliques. That felt so good. We're going to do one more to each side, both sides. Let's do both. Inhale, right side, stretch it out. Take a few breaths there this time. Acknowledge the space from your right toes to your right fingers, but specifically in your torso. Breathe into your right lung. So give them a grace period. Let those muscles stretch out. And then next breath out. Squeeze it. Squeeze the right side as tight as you can. And not just knee towards elbow, but the waist. You want to feel like your waist is coming closer, hip to armpit. Take a few breaths there, and then you'll notice it's going to be very difficult now to breathe into your right lung. And unfortunately, this can be happening. We don't even know it if these muscles aren't working. We have less access to the lungs. And then let's do the last one. Grab a hold of your leg. Take an inhale. Exhale, come up, or maybe you don't want to hold the leg. Use those core muscles. Take an inhale, sit up tall. You can keep your foot on the ground or do the cross. You can do the rotation. So your last one. Take your time. Picture in your mind's eye those muscles. Anatomy is so useful to help us to recruit them because our brain sees them. And let that go. Uncross. Let's do the other side. One last one. Inhale through the left, and we'll just pause there. So lengthen your whole left side. Encourage yourself to breathe into your left lung. Maybe even place your right hand on your left side. Next round of breath out. Squeeze, compress that left side as much as you can. Shortening the waist on the left side, hip towards your armpit. Take a few breaths there. Notice how it's more difficult to access the left lung, to breathe to the left side because there's compression. Release that. Grab a hold of your left leg however you'd like. Take an inhale. Exhale. Rock up. And part of this to me is learning to use our intuitive core. So initially we need to voluntarily get these muscles to activate, but as we do it more and more, they'll do it without us needing to think about it. So you can do the cross leg, you can keep your foot on the floor. Take this last one to the left. I'm going to rotate, turn my back on you, please forgive me. On to the left butt cheek. And slowly, slowly, slowly come down. And release. Please come to a position that's comfortable for you. If you want to cross your legs first and make any circles, or just move your hips around from side to side. Because we recognize that in working these muscles, we're also perhaps feeling something in the pelvis, because it does attach to your pelvis. And just taking a few moments, maybe hands on the ribs, to be present in this space in your body. These muscles that are like the front of your tube being your torso. And that tube that supports not only your diaphragm and your breathing, but all of your abdominal organs, your organs of digestion, elimination, reproduction. It's part of the job of these oblique muscles. Even picturing in your mind's eye, closest to the skin, those external obliques, as if you were putting your hands in your pockets. You can visualize the fabric of those muscles, those sheets of muscle on either side. Breathe into them, let them move freely with your breath, stretching as you breathe in, and just releasing as you breathe out. And then go another layer in. Visualize your internal obliques. You just lay your hands across your body. Picture those muscle fibers. And as you're breathing in, they're stretching. As you're breathing out, they're releasing. And as long as we're acknowledging the internal and external obliques, acknowledge your transversus abdominis, that deepest layer, that corset of muscles, and feel those as well. Stretch as you breathe in. And gently compress as you breathe out. This beautiful, harmonious relationship between the obliques and your transversus abdominis, the stability they provide, the allowance of breath, the ability to voluntarily expel your breath. And just the more that they support us from the front, the less we have to be supported on our backside, which that's what this is about, is releasing the back by engaging and familiarizing ourselves with some of these muscles in the front that support us, that support our spine. Take your time coming out. You can roll to one side or rock up, because we got that now. Thank you for joining me and our lovely new Milo. He didn't get a formal introduction because we didn't know how he was going to do, but he's still here with us, so he says thank you too. Peace, joy, love, and light.